and take off with this training.
Absolutely. Good morning, guys. So Teresa and I prepare for a quick presentation to help you guys out, to share with you the things that we do, so that way we can, uh, based on our experience, the things that we have applied in our business, so we can start the business, restart the business, because as you guys know, everything goes up, everything comes down, stay steady, goes up and down and everything. So what we're going to be talking about, we're going to be talking about reset our way of thinking, uh, focus on changing and creating a new mindset, our skill set and tool set. Skill set is the things that we are good at, right? And of course, in the tool set becomes some of the things that are provided to us or that are available for us to start the business. In my opinion, the skill set and the tool set don't work if the mindset doesn't work. So that is the first thing that we need to focus on, the mindset. Okay. So let me just give me a quick second right here. All right, perfect.
Right.
All
Is
right,
that better?
much better. Thank you. So so the two of us, Teresa and me, and we're gonna help you out, guys. Like I said, to share what we have learned. You know, being being an employee to become a business owner, and the things that we have done that had helped us to, you know, to get to where we are. So let's just wait a little bit again. All right,
Sorry, I don't know why it's not letting me do this. It keeps telling me something about the screens. Technical difficulties. My mouse is lost. Here it is. Okay, that should be good.
all right, perfect. So who we are? Well, as you guys know, my name, I'm Misha. Uh, just real quick, born in Mexico City, been in this country for 35 years. And trust me, when, we come from another country, from another state, from another city to start from scratch, you really have to create a strong mindset because everything is new. You have to create everything new and everything starts with you. So, uh, mindset, you have to make a decision to move from one place to another. And in the mindset, and based on the decision that you made, you have to commit to that decision because you're going to encounter challenges. So, we want to be sharing again, like the things that we've been learning and how we've been applying them, and maybe we can help you out. Go ahead, Teresa.
So I'm Teresa Moreno. I was born and raised in LA, and I'm currently in Orange County. I've been an entrepreneur since the age of 6. So how is that possible? I used to sell eggs, vegetables, and things with my dad out of his station wagon. So when it comes to sales, I've been in sales since I was very little. I love sales because I love communicating with people. I love talking to them. I love helping people. I love bringing solutions to other people's problems, not because I'm nosy, but because I love helping people. So now I've been a real estate investor. I've also been a business owner of a retail store. I've now am in life insurance. I also am a real estate agent. So I'm just excited to be here with you and share with you some of the knowledge and some of the practices that we've been using inside of our business.
All right. So as I was saying, guys, the power of mindset. So I'm gonna give you a quick example, especially what I went through. So when I was growing up in Mexico, guys, I did the exact same thing. I mean, I always been a hard worker. I started working when I was 8 years old. My parents got divorced, and the need was in reality what moved me to start working. So I got a job at a mechanic shop, learn how to, do oil changes and stuff like that. So at a very short age, same as Teresa, I mean, I learned how to work, how to earn a living. Now, during that time, I started realizing that I needed to be strong here because being a child on an environment where there are only nothing but grown men and everybody speaks in a very harsh way, and everybody does, I mean, at that particular job, everybody was doing a very harsh and hard work. Of course, I needed to create the personality, the mindset of strength. And of course, as time went by, I mean, I moved from one shop to another. Then I started going into a different type of businesses where I learned how to sell. So when I turned 15 years of age, I started working selling, ideas. I'm gonna put it that way. I mean, I started selling ideas, how you can create something if you persevere, if you work, if you gamble on yourself and start creating. Of course, I mean, as I did, I made good money. I started growing, but then again, I reached a cap. And when that cap happened, I said, you know what, I gotta find something better. I mean, I'm used to make good money here in Mexico, but I wanted a better lifestyle anyway. So that's when I decided to come to the United States. I was 20 years old when I came over here. When I came over here, and as some of you guys already know, I didn't know how to speak English. I did not know a single word of the language. When I came to the country, being an illegal person, I wasn't able to enroll in school back then. And so it was super hard, I mean, for somebody to, learn how to speak English. So I said, if I want to grow in this country, I have to learn the language. So I found my own methods in order for me to be able to do it. So I bought myself an English dictionary, English, Spanish, and I was translating every word. I was studying hard every minute of every day in order for me to, be able to learn words and then practice the words, the pronunciation and stuff like that. And of course, little by little, I was able to start putting sentences together and keep going. Now, during that time, and this is when the mindset is so important. During that time, I mean, people were laughing at me, making fun of me, saying like I sounded funny, uh, th- that I didn't know how to put sentences together and stuff like that. But because my mindset was so strong and I was so determined to learn the language, I didn't care. I just kept on going. And that is something that it's so important when it comes to business. So you have to learn how to be relentless and resilient and say, you know what, this is what I want. Therefore, I'm gonna put my mindset into it. I'm gonna stick to it. And it doesn't matter what happens, it doesn't matter what people says, you are gonna continue going. It doesn't matter what problems arise, you just gotta keep going. Now, uh, you have to be aware of your thoughts all the time because sometimes the person that can kill your dreams a lot faster is you. So don't listen to yourself either. You have to remind your goal, write it down, put it on the wall, so that way you can see it all the time. This is the reason why I'm doing it. It's a time freedom, financial freedom, spending more time with your families, firing your boss. Whatever your goal is, you gotta look at it all the time and remind yourself why you're doing this. Now, another thing when it comes to mindset, uh, you gotta make decisions. That way you can move forward. Uh, when I was started here in California back in '94, I got a job as a salesperson selling vehicles, and I reached my cap within a couple of months of being at the dealership. And I said, you know what? I have to be more than just a salesperson. So I moved myself. I worked my way into the finance department. When I made it to the finance department, I said, now I gotta be the best finance manager, and I made it. I made And I held that position for 13 years until I decided to become an entrepreneur. Till I decided to say, you know what, I reached my cap. Now it's time for me to move on. So I got into real estate investing. And it was not easy. It was hard. But the mindset, the decision that I had made, that has helped me keep going through the up and downs of being an entrepreneur. So mindset, guys, I cannot probably say enough. You have to really, really focus on what you want. Can you move to the next one? To the next slide.
So when we're looking at one of the biggest things, not only with the mindset, is when we're looking at failure. How many of us believe that we've been a failure or that we are a failure because our business isn't growing? Raise your hand. Right? And we tell ourselves, I'm such a failure, or like, I can't believe I failed again. And we make it into it be about us. So when you look at the dictionary, when you look at the word failure, what you see are these three definitions, right? It's the lack of success. Lack of success because you didn't complete what you said you were going to complete. So you didn't get to that end point that you wanted to get to. Number two, it's the omission of expected or required action. So you didn't take a certain action. You didn't take, what was required, or you didn't do what was required for you to get to that point you wanted to get to. And the third one is the action or state of not functioning. So what you wanted to do wasn't functioning. What you did didn't work. So then it becomes a failure. But as an entrepreneur, right, a lot of the times what we say is that I'm such a failure. Oh, this is never going to work. I can't do this. This business isn't for me. This business is good for Leanne. This business is good for Darren. This business is good for Kenneth, right? It's for the other person, but I'm such a failure. I can't do it. Or I already had another business and it failed, so I am going to fail again, right? And we start to take that word failure as if it was us, as if we're the failure. When the reality is that you're not the failure. What you did was a failure at that moment in that time. And whatever action you took inside of that business or inside of that project that you were doing, that was the failure, right? So we tend to use failure to define who we are, and then it defines the actions that we're going to take. So when we're looking at mindset, right, we're looking at our thoughts, we're looking at our attitudes. What's the attitude that we have as we wake up? What are you listening to? Are you listening to more information that keeps telling you and reminding you of what a failure you are? Are you listening to people that keep on reminding you how you failed? And sometimes that can be your family members. As harsh as it may seem, one of our biggest critics are our family members, right? And they get to see everything. They get to see like the raw deal of what you've done, what you haven't done. And especially when you say, I'm going to do this, and then it doesn't happen. And they're like, see, you failed. See, you didn't complete it. See, you never do anything, right? So we have to remember who are we associating with, right? And how are we seeing ourselves? What are we listening to? Who is hanging around us? Who are we looking up to? Who are we calling for feedback? Who are we looking, for the solutions? Who do we go to? Right. So I want you to take failure and don't take it out of your vocabulary, but just take it out from who you are. It doesn't define who you are. It doesn't define who you're going to be and what you're going to do. You just simply failed at that action that you were doing. You simply failed at that task that you were doing for that day. So the powerful thing about failure, like you have no idea how powerful failure can be. It's so great to fail. You guys have heard fail forward, right? Keep failing because it's one step closer to where you want to get to. How about if we take failure as a feedback? All it is feedback. Feedback of where you are, right? As soon as you didn't complete what you said you were going to complete, or as soon as this result didn't come through, what can we ask? We can ask ourselves these 4 questions, right? The first one is, what worked well about what I did? What worked well? And make a list, because inside of whatever you did, inside of the actions that you took, something worked well. Somebody gave you a response, something happened on that other side. So ask yourself, what worked well about that? Number 2, what didn't work well? What didn't go through? Okay. I thought in my head this was going to work well, but it didn't. When I look at it in reality, what didn't work well? And then what can I add in? Maybe there was something missing. So maybe it was, as soon as you got on the call with a prospect, you started talking about, oh, this is going to be good for you. And maybe you can add being quiet. A lot of times we talk a whole lot, instead of listening more. So what can you add? Maybe sometimes you can add silence so that the other person on the other side of the phone actually gets to express what they need or what they want, right? And you can hear it. And what can I take out? Well, maybe I can take out saying, I love as we've been going through this, Misha said last time, don't tell them your cost for the insurance is going to be this, or this is what your monthly payment will be. Maybe you can take out saying payment and say your monthly contribution, right? So look at these 4 things as you're looking back on what you wanted to do and what you wanted to accomplish is what worked well, what didn't work well, what can I add, and what can I take out? This is the best feedback that you can get for yourself. And this is the best feedback that you can ask someone else about what you have done. So when I'm on my calls, I usually get off the call and I ask Misha, I'm like, what worked well? What can I add? What can I change? Right? Because I know I don't know everything. And I know there's always something to improve. There's always room for improvement. There's always room for improvement. So, and I only hear what I want to hear, but the people on the outside are actually hearing what I'm saying. So when I ask somebody out there, what worked well? What can I change? What can I add? Then I can think about it. I'm like, okay, yes, I did say that. Okay, I can say it this way. Oh, and now I can actually offer this differently. Right? So it's really looking at failure as a feedback and really looking at failure as it means you're in action. That's all it is. So congratulate yourself and thank yourself because all you're doing is being in action. And that takes you one step closer to where you want to get to. I see some comments here. Let me see if I can get to them because
While you look at those comments, just guys, don't forget that failure is part of success. That's very important. So failure is part of success. So when you're failing, that means that you're moving forward.
Sherry, yes, failure, don't let failure define you. It doesn't define you. You are what you think about all the time, right? All the time. That's why I said, what are you listening to? Who are you hanging around with? What are you doing?
Now think about it this way, and when it comes to failure and all that, you have to be honest to yourself and see where your business is. Because if your business is not where you want it to be, it is not your fault, but it's 100% your responsibility, right? So we have to see our daily activity. What is it that we're doing? What is it that we're not doing? Are we putting something else in priority before the business? And if we're putting this thing as before, what is it? What can we change it? How can we adjust it? Right? So being a business owner is first of all, you have to make it fun. You have to make it like enjoyable, because being a business owner in reality, guys, it requires a lot of discipline, a lot of discipline. And when we have habits that are not letting us move forward, those habits, can make the whole experience dreadful. It can make the whole experience hard, you know. So see your environment, see where you are, where will you need to change. If the place where you're working is too, I don't know, it's a mess in the place where you're working, you have to clear that up. That way your brain cannot be overwhelmed by other things that are around you, and you can focus on your business. That is part of that, so being responsible within your business, having your environment clean, and especially here, you gotta get rid of bad ideas. So realizing what's going around you, it's definitely what's going to help you to move to the next step, right? Everything, everything. How do you start your day? That's also very important. You start your day like, oh my God, I gotta do this. No, no, you gotta get rid of that bad attitude per se. But you have to say, okay, I gotta take ownership of my business. I have to do this, uh, and then write it down. Write down your the steps that you need to take. Stay late working if you have to. It's your business. You have to work on it 100%. Even if it is late, even if you're tired, clean up your inbox. That's another thing. Uh, if you looked at your emails and then you have 1,000 or 10,000 or 20,000 emails that you haven't read, clean all that up. because that gives you such a feeling of frustration. And then you say, my God, where is the email that I sent? And then you're looking for an email that you received a day, 2 days ago, and just to see that you have 1,000 or 10,000 emails, you go like, my God, I mean, forget it. I'm just gonna move into something else. And you didn't complete the task. So it is a responsibility to create an environment where we actually have room to work, to grow, to develop, right? I mean, don't forget, I mean, plus, I mean, we are working on creating a business, and a business comes with people, with a team. So is there a room for the team? So all that you have to be responsible in clearer up. Don't say I'm gonna do it later. Something that I learned years ago, I got into this program. I call it the Touch It Once program. So which means that when I start something, I don't leave it alone until I'm done. I don't want to come back later on and finish it, because then it becomes another day and 2 days and 3 days and a month. Forget it. You're never going to complete it. So when I start something, I don't let it go until I'm done. So don't forget that. That's it. Just create the mindset, that program, the Touch It Once program. It works. It definitely works. And then can you go to the next one? So don't forget that the system is now you, right? So you have to start operating like one. Look at your habits. That's important. I mean, that's super important. The habits that you had a year ago, 6 months ago, last week, if those habits are not putting you where you need to be at today, you gotta go and clean up. You got to start developing new habits, getting up early, exercising, stop drinking, stop smoking, reading books, listening to something motivational. Uh, you got to start creating the new habits in order for you to create a new system, uh, and put it to work. Now, when it comes to putting systems to work, what is that we need to do? We need to make sure, first of all, that I realize that we are business owners. And as independent brokers, we need to take responsibility of what is happening in our business. We need to be proactive. So we submit the applications to the contracts. Okay, we now got to call the carriers, follow up on the contract. What is it that they're missing that is not uh, probably giving us our appointment? What is it holding it up? And then reach out to your upline. It's something that Teresa tells me all the time, and I really like this. Um, if there is a situation or a problem, don't come just and tell me about the problem or the situation. Tell me about the problem and the situation, but also give me a solution. You see, and that is so important. That is so important, because if you, when you are being proactive and you are calling the carriers or trying to get somebody insured or whatever, and you don't know this, and then you see a problem and you come to your upline, but also come with a suggestion. What if I do this? And the upline is going to help you out. Okay, we'll try this, or we can do this, or let me help you out and let me take you from there. Something. Don't just bring the problem, bring the solution or a suggestion, that can help us, create the solution to whatever the situation is. So the system, again, starts here. Everything starts here. Clean everything up. If you have to take a day just to clean everything up and get rid of it, take it, but just do it and don't come back to it. Just finish it. Okay, go to the next one.
So the next, we're going to look at the power of skill set. The power of skill set, that means what are your skills? What are your abilities? What are your expertise? So your phone, your MacBook, your laptop, right? What does it have? It has the iOS operating system. Your personal computer could have a Windows operating system. So what's within that system? It's the ability, it gives you the ability to be able to text, the ability to make phone calls, the ability to look at your emails, right? And there's certain things that you can say, oh, I love Mac because it does this, right? Because it has FaceTime, right? They became an expert at being able to provide video communication. So now you have to look at you, right? Because what's your skill set? Now that you've developed the mindset, now that we've worked on what the mindset is, what is your skill set? What are your abilities? What are you bringing to the table? And what are you an expert at? Whatever it is that you're an expert at, you can bring that and some of those skills, some of those abilities into the business that you currently have right now. Every business overflows with another business, right? What you've learned in whether you were in the corporate world, whether you've been an entrepreneur, even if you were selling coffee is sales, right? Even if you were a barista, if you the smallest job that you think you were doing, you developed an expertise at that and you developed more abilities that gives you now the power for you to use that into your business. How can you incorporate it? How can you bring that in? And how can you take advantage of those abilities and expertise that you've developed and bring it into your new business as a broker and life insurance broker? So some of the core concepts are prospecting, right? How many of us do prospecting daily? Raise your hand. And if you're not on camera, come on camera so we can see your beautiful face, right? We're prospecting daily. You're prospecting everywhere you go. Every single person out there is a potential client for you. Why? Because everyone is going to die. Like you're in a guaranteed business where everybody has an end date. So everybody needs life insurance because we're all going to die, whether we like it or not. We don't know when, we don't know how soon, we don't know how much later in life, but we're all going to die. So we have what? Now there's 8.2 billion people in the world. That's how many clients we have available to us. So remember, everywhere you go, become a prospecting machine because every single person could be your potential client. That's your next sale. That's the next family that you help. That's the next family that is not going to have to suffer, wonder, worry, cry, beg, plead to be able to get the funds to bury their family member, right? You are the solution. Remember that. You are a problem solver. You are the solution bringer. That's what you bring to families. And what you actually bring is peace of mind, right? So when you're talking to clients, to prospects, when you're talking to anybody, even to your family members, remember what you're giving them is peace of mind because we all want peace of mind. How many of you want to be with peace of mind every day, right? Because we don't wake up with that peace of mind. As soon as we wake up, we start thinking about, oh, I have to get this done. Oh, I have to pay the bills. Oh, I have to pay the rent now. I have to do this. I have to take the kids here, right? We're always thinking about something, and it's usually the worry, the stress. But if you can bring that peace of mind to that client, at least let them know, you know what, at the end of life, at your end stage, when that time comes, your family has that peace of mind. They don't have that financial worry. They don't have the financial burden because you're taking that stress away from them. So remember, everywhere you go, be prospecting. Have your card, have your digital card. If you don't have a physical card, create a digital card that you can just send to them. And when you get their email, right? Or when you get their phone number, just send that over to them. They're like, okay, here. And then they have you. The next one is presenting solutions, right? You are bringing the solution to their problems, whether sometimes people don't even know they have a problem because we can't see it. We've gotten so used to living the way we live. We've gotten so used to doing the things we do the same way we do them. And we know there's a problem, but we're not really aware of it because that's just the way life has become now. That's the way we live life. That's how we do things. So as you sit down with somebody and you have, even if it's just 5-10 minutes, start presenting solutions. Don't just bring the problems. How can you be the solution to the problem that they have? How are you letting them know that, hey, I'm available for that? And sometimes it won't be about life insurance. It can be about credit. It can be about a family going to school. But always be the one that has a solution or brings a solution to them so that they can remember to come to you. And if you don't have the solution, then just say, you know what? Give me a day. Let me go find the answer to that, and I will get back to you. Because you don't have to know everything. There's plenty of people in the group. There's plenty of people that you can go on GroupMe, or you can call somebody. You can call your upline. You can call your sideline. You can call anyone and look for the solution to that person's problem.
And now when we are talking to clients and practice this, even with everybody, even when you're not with a client, and practice actually is what makes excellence, right? You have to learn how to handle objections. When we are talking to clients, okay, think about it this way. Nobody likes to be sold anything, right? And when people know or think about life insurance, they see it as a payment, right? So they're always going to try to give us an excuse or a reason why not to buy it. Uh, so you have to learn how to handle objections. It's so important in the business. And anybody, and this is, I have to tell you this and be 100% in it, anybody can close a business as long as you learn how to listen and how to overcome objections. Don't forget this other one. Everybody is going to tell you how they want to be closed. Everybody. There is no exceptions to that rule. Everybody tells you how they want to be closed. And by you listening to the person when the person is talking, that's why it's so important for us to listen. You're going to be able to handle every objection, everything. Sometimes, I mean, we can overcome an objection just by asking why, just by saying to that person or asking that person, why? Why do you think that is? And people answer their own objections sometimes, and then they realize that what they're saying is not making any sense. So handling objections in this business and in any business, in any part of this business, it doesn't matter we're selling a term, a whole life, an IUL, an annuity, there is always going to be an objection that we need to overcome. The best way, again, to overcome an objection is by listening. Okay. Now, when it comes to retention, this is probably the hardest one because when we close a business, the client accepts to submit the application over to the insurance company. You submit the application, customer signs, hang up the phone, and you say, like, great, I sold the policy, right? But then the customer calls back an hour before, after, the day after, 2 days after, and with the thing that we do as normal. I mean, we panic. And then we said, oh, shoot, I hope this guy is not calling me to cancel, right? And we tend to avoid answering the phone. The phone goes to the voicemail. We listen to the voicemail. And if it is safe, we call the client back, right? Well, wrong. Don't do that anymore. If you are actually doing that, because I did it, don't do that anymore. If the client calls you, pick up the phone. Because sometimes people, they say, man, I was talking to this person on the phone. I don't know this guy, this person. Is that person real? You know what? Let me call and verify. And sometimes when you pick up the phone, and then I said it to you guys before, but on your cell phone, immediately put the name of the person, the phone number, the state where they are, the company that you sold. So when they call back, you can actually answer and greet them by their name. Hey, John, what's happening? Or hi, John. And the person is going to say that, oh, wow, this guy knows who I am. That's the first, the check mark when the clients go like, oh, this guy's real. He knows who I am. And then you said, how can I help you? And the person goes, oh, not nothing. I just wanted to confirm again. When is my contribution going to start? And then you answer the question, customer feels at ease, and there is no problem. Whereas if you don't answer the phone, you let it go to voicemail, the client can say, wow, maybe I gave my information to somebody that is not even in the States, you know? So guess what's going to happen? They're going to start doubting themselves. They're going to start doubting what they did, and they're going to cancel. Regardless of the fact that they're going to get the policy in the mail, they want to cancel because you rejected to answer the phone. So retaining a client, I think that's one of the most important pieces of the whole equation. Pick up the phone. If the client calls, just call, just answer. If the client sends you a text message, like it happened to me yesterday, a client sent me a text message saying that she wanted to cancel not only the new policy that I did, but the previous one that she had. And this is what I did, just to let you know. I read the message. I didn't call her back, all panicking, like, oh, wait, hold on, why are you going to cancel? No, I let it cool off a little bit. I needed to process. I needed to remember the conversation I had with the client. So when I call her, I reclose her without saying, hey, this is the reason why you need it. So answering to text messages, uh, answering the phone. Another thing that is going to help you to retain your business is when you are selling. I mean, when you're on the phone with the client, don't panic. Listen to what the client is saying, and then give him a payment that they are comfortable with. Don't give him the payment that you are comfortable with, because you're not going to be making the payment. That's so important, guys. Do not, don't forget this, guys. Do not ever sell with your pocket. Never sell with your pocket. That means that if you give somebody a payment and then you said, oh, that payment is pretty high, I wouldn't be able to do it. I don't know how am I going to do that payment myself. Well, that idea, you're selling with your pocket because you're already saying, oh, the payment is too high or the payment is too low. I only want to do low payments because that way I can retain my clients. No, sometimes the client can afford more, but because you're afraid to actually say what the payment is, you are underselling the client. So, I mean, think about it this way. I was talking to another client yesterday when I was on my way home, and this client just had a baby. And when I was talking to the two of them, the husband and the wife, I told them, hey guys, we need to review your policy again because now that you have a baby, this is what I said, now you are underinsured because now you have one more person that you need to take care of. The husband immediately said, you are right. I was covered for $300,000 to give to my wife when I was gone, but now I have to take care of my baby. So now I'm have an appointment, I mean, to go over, their options. But all those little comments that you make when you're talking to clients are going to help you to retain your business. Retaining your business is so important by listening to the client, by answering the phone, replying to text messages, keeping the client engaged. If you tell your client that, you know what, Mr. Client, I just submitted the application over to the insurance company, it's going to take a couple of days for them to give me for the company to give me an answer. Let the client know for the next couple of days, you're not going to hear from me because I'm also waiting for the insurance company to let me know what's happening. But as soon as I get an answer, I'm going to call you and let you know what's happening. So during those times that you're not calling the client is not worried because you already told the client that you are also waiting for the insurance company to tell you what's going on. That, and then when you get an answer or a message or something regarding their policy and you call the client then now is looking at the service that you're providing. And the service after the sale, it's so important. That is what's going to help you also to retain your business. Does that make sense? All right, next.
So as
Next
we're
slide.
building not only the business skills that we need, right, and the abilities and the expertise inside of the business, there's also personal skills that we can build up, right? And that includes communication. How is your communication? Are you rushing through the conversations? Are you running through because you got to follow the script the way it says to do it? And then the customer doesn't understand what you're saying. The customer is like lost because you're already 2 pages down instead of being on page 1, where it's the first sentence of how are you, like how I can help you. And you're already trying to give them a quote. So how is your communication? What are you doing? Are you taking classes? I used to be a part of Toastmasters. Toastmasters is amazing place for you to get trained, to get developed, to be able to present in front of a room, present to a bunch of people, to present on the spot when they ask you a question and you're like, oh, how do I answer that? Right? What groups are you joining? How are you building up that communication? What books are you reading? There's a great book that's called it's a presentation book, right? And it's a really quick read. I'll put it in the group me once we're done. But it helps you teach your presenter skills. How are you communicating? How's your tone? How's your cadence? How is your pitch? How are you talking to them? How are people listening to you? Because it's usually when we record ourselves and we play it back, you're like, that's me. That's weird. That doesn't sound like me. I don't think that's me. Right? Record yourself. Stand in front of a mirror and read the script. Read it to yourself as if you were the person, that person in the mirror is the person on the other side of the phone. So you can truly see and hear yourself. because we're all making gestures, we're all doing things, we're doing different things as we're on the phone, and the other person can actually feel that and they can hear it on the other side. So practice your communication. Are you building up your terms? Do you know your insurance terms? Do you know your health terms? Right? It's not just about learning lingo and learning certain phrases, but do you actually understand what you're selling to your clients, what you're saying to them? All right, so practice on your communication. The next one is your leadership. How are you showing up as a leader inside of your business? And that's how are you showing up here? Do people see you as a leader? Do they see you volunteering? Sometimes, I love a lot of times I'm voluntold. They're like, oh, you're voluntold to do this. So, sometimes we don't want to raise our hand because we don't want to be called on, or we don't want to turn on our camera because we don't want to be called on. Right. And sometimes we have to be voluntold. And that's because other people see the potential of our leadership and we don't see it ourselves. Right. Are you bringing solutions to the table? Are you rising up to be the leader, especially if you have a team or you're growing a team? How is your leadership showing up? How is it showing up inside of your? It could be something as little as, oh, I'll put the flyer in, or I'll create this presentation, or I'll post this, and share something with someone. JP does a lot of that. I see he's like, come into my room, we're doing this. So it's something as simple as that. Just come in and listen to what I'm doing. You don't have to do what I'm doing, but just come in and listen, because what I've been doing has been working.
And that comes to teamwork, because like Teresa just mentioned, I mean, and she's right. I mean, JP always invites everybody to come to his room. Do you show up? Do I show up? You know? So even if we're there just to listen, to learn, I mean, we have to be part of the team. Think about it this way, guys. Have you ever seen a quarterback going to the field without the team? Or have you ever seen the team without going to the field without the quarterback? No, everybody shows up at the same time, right? So teamwork is so important. So if you say, you know what, I'm gonna be on Zoom at this time working, I mean, expect the team to prioritize it as well. So if you are there, people are gonna show up. If you don't work, people don't work. I mean, people follow the leader. That's a fact. So you have to learn how to, you know, be. You have to learn how to stop being the lone wolf. And by my personal experience, guys, that is a challenge because that's who I used to be. I used to be a lone wolf. I always like to do everything by myself. People, I mean, I used to say that, I don't really like to work with people. I mean, I work better when I'm working by myself. And that is a lie. That's not true. The thing is that we're saying that we work better when we are by ourselves is because we don't like to get the feedback. We don't like anybody to tell us, hey, you're lacking this, you're doing this, you're not doing this, right? But we don't grow if we are doing it by ourselves. Teamwork is so important. Plus, I mean, you have to realize that other people have different skills because we're not it. I'm good at closing. I'm good at following up with people, whatever your skill is. But you might need somebody that is good at processing. You might need someone that is good at advertising. And if you do want to do everything by yourself, ain't gonna work. You need to be part of a team. Now, that is gonna help you to start solving a lot of problems. Because if you, like I just mentioned, if you don't know how to close, if you don't know how to use system, if you don't know how to use Excel, well, the teamwork is going to help you to start solving a lot of problems, right? And you have to listen to the feedback that other people are giving you. That way you can realize what the problems are. And sometimes you're going to realize that you are the problem, right? So if you're the problem, you need to fix it. You need to fix it yourself. You need to be humble enough to say, okay, I'm the problem. I'm the one who's creating all this. And when you start changing and creating a new skill set, a new way of thinking, trust me, a lot of problems solve themselves out. So just think about it that way. Teamwork is going to help you to grow, And the team is also going to give you the hints of what problems need to be solved. Go ahead.
So now it's time to activate the knowledge, right? Because it's great to learn all these things, but what good is it if you don't put it into action? So we're going to give you a quick 5-step income kickstart plan. And this is going to be about the power of Toolset. Because now that you have the mindset, you have the skill set, but you also need the tool set, right? It's not good for you to have a tool belt if you don't have any tools in it. It's not going to help you. So how do we get those tools into that tool belt so that you can have more success? And that's going to be through the systems. What are the systems that you're using? What are the resources that you're connected to? What do you have inside of your tool belt with you to be able to have that success?
So set your focus area. Okay, that's so important. Again, like I mentioned before, if you're gonna sit on your desk, how's your desk? Is your desk a mess, or is it your desk at the place where you can actually create something? So you have to really make sure that all that space is ready to create, to go to work. Go ahead.
What is your number one income producing activity right now? So if you take a look at this list, and it's a short list, it's not that long, but what is the number one income producing activity that you're doing right now? Are you prospecting? Are you lead generating? Are you doing client follow-ups? Are you booking presentations to then follow up with them? Are you doing social media outreach? Are you looking for referrals? Are you looking for networking? Are you doing policy reviews? So pick one. What is your number one income producing activity right now? Because yes, you could do all of them, but there's one that you want to focus on that's going to take you to the next level.
So you have to, especially for those that still have a job, you have to come out with a schedule. Okay, so the 15-hour weeks method really works. So you can do 5 hours. Break it down. The first 5 hours of the week, or 1 hour a day, 5 days a week, you have to dedicate them to prospecting. Send messages, call people, let people know what you do, who you are, how you can help them out. The next one, you have to do presentations. How many times during the week are you putting yourself in front of people? Are you actually creating those opportunities for yourself? Here we can, like I said, you can call your warm market. You can, I don't know, do advertising, whatever it takes. Buy leads. You gotta be in front of people all the time. If you're not in front of people, you're not producing. You have to have appointments. You need to go out there, put yourself out there. Don't become the secret agent. Let people know what you do. And when you're on the phone, you are on the phone. When you're on the phone calling leads or people or whatever it is that you're doing at that moment, do not mix the business. If you're gonna call about life insurance, just focus on life insurance, especially for those that have, different type of businesses. Don't go into the menu selling, because then you're gonna say, oh well, you know what, I offer this, and the person said, well, I'm not interested right now. Oh, but then I offer this too. Then you become, it's like a restaurant. Now you're giving so many options that the person doesn't know. You're not picking the interest, so the person just hangs up. Just focus on one thing. When you are presenting, and that's what you do. Just present one product, and on your appointments, do the exact same thing. If you see the opportunity to sell another product, don't do it until you are done, until you actually deliver the policy. Then you can open up the door for a different business. Don't do it in between, because you might lose both. Okay.
So if you break it down just quickly, this is designed for somebody who is part-time. Most of us have 2 jobs, 3 jobs, 4 jobs, right? And we're doing our life insurance business on a part-time basis. If that's you, then you can follow this. 5 hours, right? Break it down. 5 hours prospecting, DMs, 5 hours of presentation appointments, 3 hours of follow-up and retention, and 2 hours of learning and strategic planning, because you still have to learn. We're always learning something new. So if you're doing this full time, then just double it. Do 10 hours of prospecting, 10 hours of presentations and appointments, 6 hours of follow-up and retention, and 4 hours of learning and strategic planning for the next step. Step 3, your 7-day launch plan. So what are the top activities? This is what you can do. On Monday, you can do 10 prospecting calls, right? Pick, or you can do 20 if you want to double it. If you're an overachiever, you can do 30, right? Or 100 or 120. JP was like, I have 120. You can set the number that you want to do. On Tuesday, you can post your social media content and you can message 5 warm leads. I know don't message over 10, don't send over 10 messages with the same message. Make sure you break up that message so that you don't get blocked on Facebook and different certain social media platforms. On Wednesday, you can book 2 appointments or you can book 4 appointments. You can say Wednesday is my day where I do all of my appointments. That's where I'm going to be booking them for Friday, or I'm going to book them for Saturday. And then on Thursday, you can review old clients. You can look at old leads. Maybe they didn't answer, or maybe that wasn't at the right time. I had somebody tell me yesterday, oh, well, I have coverage or I don't have this. And I said, oh, well, when would be a good time to get back to you? And they said July. So I said, okay, perfect. I'll get back to you in July. That's because their financial situation wasn't where they wanted it to be. So I said, okay, I'll try back in July. Make a note to yourself to call them back when they said for you to call them back. Saturday and Sunday, study, prep, and rest. All right. Always put in time to study, prep for the week, and then get your rest.
Tracking and accountability, guys, that's another thing that is super important. If you don't track your business, there is no way you know where you are on it during the month. And of course, you're not going to get the results that you're seeking. So create a simple tracker, something that works for you. Okay. For in my case, I use Excel. I track every sale I make. When I make a sale, I put the name of the client, their phone number, date of birth, their home address, the product that I sold, the company that the product is with, the amount of the coverage. Then of course I do my monthly contribution, the annual AP, the commission, the gross commission, the commission payable, the advance, everything. I track all that. I also have a very important column on my tracker that gives me the status of that policy. That way I can see, I can go back to it and said, okay, this client, I sold this, but it's still pending. Okay, well, let me call the company. Let me see what's happening. First, I go to my emails to see if I got an answer from the insurance company. If I did, and if it is a decline or approved, then I put it on my tracker. If it is cancel, I mean, if it is a decline by the insurance company, then I started working and I start going to the next one. I gotta find a house for that client, right? But if I don't track it, then I don't know what's happening. You gotta if the client cancels, well, you gotta track it because you want to avoid the chargeback. Sometimes clients tend to cancel because their friend told them to cancel, and they believe the friend more than they believe you, right? So they cancel. If the client calls and cancel, then you try to overcome the objection, 2, 3 shots, and the guy doesn't budge. Call the insurance company and cancel it yourself as soon as possible before you get paid, right? Because if you don't do that, you're gonna get paid, but now you have to give the money back. So that creates a chargeback. So now you're working for free because by the next sale, you know that you're not gonna get paid. You have to give the money back. So don't do that. Don't work on borrow money. And tracking everything, guys, it helps you to avoid all that. So track also your production. Track, I'm sorry, the amount of calls that you make. If you're not making the sales that you need to make, well, look at the amount of calls that you're making. If you're making 100 calls a week and you're only making one sale, well, the 100 calls a week doesn't work. You need to double it or triple it. That way you can make more sales. Does that make sense? So tracking everything, it works. It really does. A lot of people say, oh, that's too much, whatever. I'm the business owner. I can do whatever I want. Wrong. You as a business owner, you're the busiest person in the whole company, right? Because it's your business. You gotta track it so you can make it grow. Uh, have a whiteboard. Use Google Sheets. There is so many tools out there that we can use, but the main one is tracking. Now, the other one is accountability. Accountability is so important. You have to tell somebody, hey, you know what, this week I'm gonna do this, this, and this, and this. And that person has to come back and tells you, hey, did you do this? Did you do that? Did you accomplish this? And then by the same token, that person is going to share with you what their goals are. And then you got to go see if that person completed. Because now you're accountable to somebody. You're not only accountable to yourself anymore. Because when you're accountable to yourself, it's easier to say that it's just me. I didn't do it. I'll do it tomorrow. No, but if you have somebody that is holding you accountable, well, now you actually gonna put, the effort to make things happen because you know somebody's gonna ask you. So find that accountability partner. Has to be within the team. That's why teamwork is also very important. Uh, I don't know. I mean, Sherry can call Leanne, or Leanne can call Teresa or me or whomever. Just find that accountability partner. Find that person that is going to help you to move your business to the next level, who's going to help you to move yourself to the next level. This business is not going to grow as any other business if we don't grow. Go ahead.
Step 5, create a personal commitment to yourself, right? Not just to people out there, or not just to be seen on screen, not just to be seen on Zoom, not just so people can think like, oh, she's so great, but create your own personal commitment. Write it and then declare it, right? And this is a simple statement you can say every morning. This week, I commit to the goal, whatever your goal is, by doing the action that you're going to do. And you can write it, put it on your refrigerator, put it on your mirror, put it on your computer, right on the top of the screen, a little post-it note. This is what I'm going to take, so that when you sit there, you can remind yourself, this is what I committed to doing today. This is my goal for the day. This is the action that I'm going to take. And then this is the action for the week. So these are the goals that I have to take. And that's how you can plan your week out. There's an action toolkit, right? So you can have a daily planner, or you can use the Agents First CRM. The CRM that's provided here to us, it's free. You don't have to pay for it. I've paid whole lots of money for other CRMs. This one is free. It's provided by Agents First. So what better way to get something than free, right? My favorite 4-letter word, free.
And then when it comes to scripts, I mean, you can create your own script, or you can ask your upline for one. You can, going back to the trainings, go to YouTube and listen to the trainings and type whatever you're hearing. You gotta be proactive. Don't forget, this is your business. Don't just because the scripts exist doesn't mean that you're not gonna create your own. And if you are given a script, learn it and then turn it into your own. Be you. I mean, because I don't sell the way Darren does, and so on and so forth. All of us have a different set, I mean, skills, but we gotta use it to your personality. That way you can sell. Use the recommended tools that we're giving, like Calendly. That thing is free. Send it over to clients. Put it on your Facebook. Put it on your email. So people want to set up an appointment with you. Send them the link. Hold them accountable for that. I mean, if somebody tells you, hey, you know what, call me tomorrow, well, be proactive. Okay, well, here, I'm gonna send you my calendar so you can put the day and the time. Um, Learn how to use Zoom. Learn how to take advantage of Chat GPT. I use Chat GPT a lot when I'm writing something. I put it in Chat GPT just to see if they can give me a better way to write it. Everything. I mean, Chat GPT can give you an answer for everything. How to sell insurance. Ask Chat GPT for a script, and it's gonna give it to you. I mean, there is so many. Technology now is so big, so accessible that we can find anything. Okay, so you don't need more time. What you really need, guys, what we need, not you, is courage. It's courage. Don't forget, I mean, some of us, I mean, we come from another country. To make the decision to travel from one country to another is not easy. It's fearful because you hear stories. The stories that you hear today are the stories that have always been, and they exist. But if you don't create the courage for you to do something, nothing happens, right? So there is this saying that everything happens outside our comfort zones, outside our fear, outside our ideas. So we have to take the courage to make things happen. We can make it happen. we can make it happen.
So now that you have the information, it's time for execution. So take some of the tips, take some of the tools, take some of the resources, build up your mindset, build up your skill set, and build up your tool set, and then go crush it inside of your business. So let's connect. How we can watch the recordings, watch the replays, go to Agents First Insurance Group YouTube channel. So you can keep watching the training, so you can keep looking at the information that's being sent. Thank you to my co-host, Misha. And I'm Teresa. You guys can find us on Facebook, Instagram. No.
Yeah, let us know how we can help you guys. I mean, all of us have something that we're looking for, right? So just let us know how we can help you. And we are open to help you guys out. Okay, guys.
Thank
so
you,
let's have a great week.
For
let's
your
make it
time.
happen.
Thank you, Darren, for the opportunity. And we're going to give it back to Darren so we can end it out.
Love it. You guys did so good. So proud of you guys. Proud to have you on our team. And thank you guys for taking time out of your Thursday to share this with us. We're here, guys, and let's get to working, get selling. I know we've tried some new things with leads this week. It is what it is, guys. I don't know. There is no promise. There's no guarantees in this business. It was a cheap investment to try something. We tried it. I don't know that it's working great, or if working at all. We invested in some 4 to 8 cent leads. I'd say average around 6 cents a lead, on about 4,000 leads. Right, very inexpensive. Cost me about $500 something. I spread those out to 20 agents. We sent out text messages. I think Jane said she sent over 3,000 text messages. So not all of them got a text, but most of them did. And we didn't get many good replies, but we was trying something. And that's in this business. If you're not trying something, then you're not working, right? So we try stuff, and so sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You figure out what's going on. I do think that probably the system would work better. I don't know that you want to necessarily keep buying year-old leads, right? Because it is a little bit of work involved with that. I do like the fact that Tommy, when I listen to what Tommy's doing with those leads, he just trying to get conversation. That's all Tommy's asked for. If you listen to him on his calls, if he can get you just to talk to him about life insurance. Well, here's what we know about a 4 cent or a 6 cent or 8 cent lead. The leads we buy are scrubbed. Okay, so you can't just cold call. In today's world, you can't cold call people, and because you can get sued. If they're on a no call list, you're not allowed to call them. So why would you buy a 4 cent or an 8 cent lead knowing it's a year old? They're not going to remember if they filled something out against a year ago, or they're going to deny it. If they even did, they're going to deny it. And a lot of times people's phone numbers change. They get new phone numbers, and that number you're calling are old numbers. So it is what it is. You get that. But if you're buying them from a lead vendor, that lead vendor has the responsibility to scrub every lead before he's allowed to sell it. So that lead vendor will scrub those leads. So even though we get them at 4 cents or 8 cents a lead, he's scrubbed them already. So we don't have to worry about that. Now we can send them a text message or we can call them. That was the whole point behind that. And then we sent out all these text messages, and the message simply said something like, hey, this is MJ, or this is Jane reaching out to you with Senior Benefits Center. One of our agents will be calling you shortly to go over this program, that you had requested information on a while back. And so just make it short and sweet, not a whole bunch of details. But when you do call them, at least then a percentage of them may be able to remember that they got a text message and that, yeah, go ahead. What do you have to sell me, right? So that's the point behind what we're trying to do. I can't say that it's working. There's got to be probably invest in better leads that are not 4 cents. Maybe look in those 50 cent leads that Tommy likes to get, 50 cent to $1 leads, and just know that we're going to spend more money on those. But with cheap is ugly. I say it all the time. Cheap is ugly. So you spend a little bit more money, get a little bit better. I still believe in the texting will work. But you've got to, and I think going forward, it's probably going to be better for you guys to do your own texting. You put your own script out. Instead of saying this is Jane with, you can say this is Teresa, or this is Tommy. You send out your own text messages, and you put on you can put your what do they call it? Where they can calendar link, where they can click on your calendar, or they can schedule an appointment with you. So you can put your own wording in your own script. You do that on your CRM. And if you don't know how to do that, get with Jane and say, Jane, what do I need to do to send out my own texting? And then give her some leads to put in your CRM. And then you do it. You guys start working that, but work on maybe a better lead source than the 4 cent or 5 cent. Go out there and buy you $100 worth of 50-cent leads. You can still get a ton of leads for that. 500 leads, I think, is you get a ton of leads for those prices, or 250, whatever it is. But you get a lot of leads for those prices. So send out text messages, call them up, work them. Basically, just stay with it, keep doing what you're doing, but make sure you're doing something. All right. So anyway, I think that's it. Tomorrow we got a really important call. I want everybody to be on tomorrow's call at 9 o'clock. My wife's going to be on here with us. So I want you guys to listen in on my wife and ask questions to her. In the meantime, you guys have a good day. Tommy and JP will be on. I think Misha and all of them are probably in their rooms. And if you don't have a room to go to, pick a room. If you got a leader on here and they're in a room, go to their room and work with them today. If you don't have somebody that's on there, maybe your leader is out doing something else, but you want to hear somebody. I know Tommy will not care and JP don't care if you're jumping in their rooms, but go find you a room and listen and talk and sell together. Get on the phone, make some dials, go enjoy your day, and smiling and dialing all day long. Okay. So love you guys. Thank you for everything. And we'll get off here.